the early hours of yesterday or late Friday night. I don't know him personally, but I saw a picture of a young man being circulated around the social media, Facebook for River State people at their pages, and then it was shocking. The story was a bit sketchy. So accident happens. There's no doubt about that. Clearly, he may have been in a very agitated mood, maybe not paying attention as he ought to. Jumping out from the gym and getting into the car, driving at such adrenaline and anxiety. Understandably, that could happen. Accidents could happen. But what caught our attention in this particular story is not that people don't die every day and all of that, but it's the fact that even when the courts and the Nigerian police have authorized and sent circulars around that on no account should people not be treated first. And then we're being told that he was taken to two different hospitals, and the first two rejected him. By the time they got to the third, he had passed on. Is there something, I'd like to ask, like Peter Obi, is there something wrong with us as a people? Now, the reason why I'm asking is this. Even if a hospital does not have all the facility to take care of that person, there is something called first aid that a hospital can actually provide for victim in an emergency situation. But in this case, that wasn't done. He was literally rejected. I'd like to bring you in here. Maybe you have a better insight of what we may be dealing, if you may.
Let me first of all condole with the family. It's indeed an unfortunate incident. I mean, it's not something that we're expecting to happen, to a promising young man. But then again, it's also important for us to also know that death, they say, is a necessary end, which will come when it will come, according to William Shakespeare. We seem not to, be learning from what has happened before in this country. And for me, that is very disturbing. I think it was Winston Churchill who said that if you fail to learn from history, you'll be doomed to repeat it. And we keep making the same mistakes over and over again, And perhaps maybe because we've not really seen consequences for some of these wrong actions and inactions, by the people. Now, if he was taken to the first hospital, I'm sure he was still alive when they took him there, and he was rejected. I'm short of words to describe such wickedness. Perhaps the young man would have still been alive if he was attended to. Good thing you made mention of first aid, and in this case, we are not talking about a patent pharmacy store. We are not talking about a first aider on the road. This is a complete medical facility, and it was rejected. For me, I think the NMA, which is the umbrella body that is saddled with the responsibility to regulate and control activities of medical doctors and the likes, they should quickly, wade into this kind of situations. And the government equally should see that medical facilities, hospitals, whether private or public, that would want to reject somebody who was in their need of attention, perhaps because of whatever reasons that, I don't know how you can be able to put that together. The government should ensure that such facilities, they get the adequate punishment for something like that.
All right.
If you have sworn an oath, even as a medical doctor, to always, defend and the opportunity presents itself, and you shy away from that, that has caused the death of a lot of people, then for me, there has to be consequences.
I think a lot of persons will agree with you on that. Now, another aspect of this story that is also troubling is that the story says that the mom was under attack. Her residence of where she lived, that they were shooting. Clearly, even if he had gotten there, I don't know how armed he may have been to be able to withstand the hoodlums or the armed men or whoever they are. Another thing that is also missing in a city, because this happened in Port Harcourt City, it didn't happen in the rural area. So another thing that is also, so we talked about a hospital that couldn't have the facility or didn't care enough to provide at least basic first aid to someone in an accident and an emergency situation. 2 hospital before the third one. The mom who put a call across to her son, if we had a proper city, if the city of Port Harcourt and several cities in Nigeria have what it takes to be called a city in a modern time, emergency numbers to call, alert numbers to call. I was passing through the Air Force base, not the Air Force, no, a Bori camp yesterday, and I saw a number by the Bori camp, by the entrance of the Bori camp, the board, and it says, call us, alert us for any emergency. That's the Nigerian Army.
6th Division, you mean?
Yeah. Now, I don't know how many people would have seen that or would even know what to do in such a scenario. So if we had a proper city where, like you have 911 should be on the first dial. So when someone, if instead of calling her son, she would have called the emergency operators to say, hey, we are being attacked here. So if as a city in 2023, we don't have the security operatives or the police number on a 911 dial, and a woman had to resort to call her only son, and in the process, he gets killed. Can we really adjudge ourselves to be people living in a city in a modern time in 2023?
It's hard to give a straight jacket answer to this. I know that even the most advanced city in the world, they are still, adding to, what they have already to see how they can, meet up with modern, reality. Sad enough, we are equally moving, but at a really very, very slow pace. But before I go into that, you talked about the mother, had to call the son, perhaps.
If she had a better alternative.
Yeah, perhaps, seeing the son as the first, respondent, okay. And the son, God bless his soul, is not here to, defend himself. But I think the impulse, the impulse was rather too hasty. I know that it will be quite difficult to hold yourself if you hear that your mom, is, in danger, in the face of danger. But then again, it's always wise to think through, certain things before you take, most especially critical decisions as such. If the boy had immediately tried to reach out to the police, because like you said, even if he had, succeeded in getting through to the mother, I'm sure, there would have still be a limit, to how he would have been able to maybe attack or repel, the assailant. So for me, the impulse was rather too hasty, and even the mother too, apart from the son's number. Well, let me not try to apportion blame, but the message is, let us always try to check our impulses. Let's put our impulses in check so that you don't hastily make decisions that will cost you so much, especially to the extent that it will not cost you your life.